Welcome to session 2 of our connection-based wellness series. We have Joel Pukalo with us, and he is going to be going over physical wellness this week and giving you the tips that you need to move toward a plan to moving toward better wellness in the physical arena of your life. If you haven't checked out the introduction video to this series, you're going to want to make sure you go check that out before continuing on with this video or future videos of this series. The introduction is really going to help you in setting a base up for the topic that Joel's going to be discussing in this next session.
Welcome back to Connection-Based Wellness. Today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite and least favorite topics all at the same time, and that is physical wellness. This is one of the most practical areas where I think for all of us we can have the quickest gains and really experience a higher level of wellness. But honestly, it's one of the hardest areas because who wants to go to bed at night, eat healthy, and exercise? I think there are absolute areas that are just the foundation of healthy living and being well, but practically some of the hardest areas for us to live out on a daily basis. I know it is for me anyway. So we'll be covering sleep, nutrition, and exercise in today's topic. The first area is sleep. I find I'm okay at sometimes. The first thing is having a schedule. For some of us who might be early risers, other people like to stay up late. Whatever your schedule is, just pick the same schedule and follow it every day because our circadian rhythms, if we can get used to going to bed at the same time every night, that really helps. Going to bed at 10 p.m. one night and 3 a.m. the next night and then midnight and then 2, it just gets our bodies all wonky. And sometimes being up late, binge watching TV or video games or whatever else we might be doing late at night, sometimes the blue light and all that stuff can kind of mess with us too. So whatever your sleep schedule is, I always talk with clients and people I work with, just pick a time that works best for you and try to stick with it to the best of your ability. So also know how much time of sleep you actually need. Some people need more sleep, some people need less sleep. You can ask my wife, I'm a person who needs my sleep. If I don't get good sleep in the morning, I can be pretty grumpy. So I know for me, my ideal sleep time is 10 p.m. Yes, I'm old, I'm a parent, and I go to bed pretty early, but that's just what I need. And even the last week or so, I've been staying up late, we've been hanging out, watching some TV shows. My wife's like, oh, let's just watch one more episode. And I pay for it the next morning because I just don't have enough sleep, especially sometimes when our young children are waking up at 5 or 6 a.m. So that's always fun, right? So whatever it is for you, pick your sleep schedule set a time in your phone when you're going to go to bed, but actually set it a half hour before that time. So if you're going to go to bed at 11 p.m., set your phone alarm for 10:30 p.m. so it's reminding you this is dial down time. As much as possible, let's turn off the blue lights, let's turn off the screens. You can still listen to chill music. I like to read. My wife likes paper books. I really like having my book on my phone or my device because then I can have a whole bunch more books. So if you have to be on your device, do something that's relaxing, do something that's chill and more putting you to bed, calming versus waking you up and alerting yourself. So that's the schedule for sleep. We talked about the alarms as well. And then it's having that pre-sleep routine. So kind of following that same routine for ourselves every night before bed can set us up for success and most likely help us to sleep. So for some people, it might be stretching. For others, it might be meditation, music, reading, taking a bath. Some people like essential oils, whatever works for you. But find that routine that's going to kind of help you go to bed. Of course, if you're really having difficulties sleeping, you can always consult your physician and explore other medical options that can support you and helping you fall asleep as well. But trying to pick the same time and follow the same routine or schedule can really help. I know for myself, the best things that help me are I like to have some wind down time, as I mentioned in a previous session before bed, so reading, listening to music. And I typically like to go for a hot shower because I find after the shower, I'm just super chill, super calm, and ready to go to bed. So that is sleep in a nutshell. The other piece is falling asleep. Some of us might have difficulties falling asleep. So I typically find, even this morning, I got up, my daughter woke up in the middle of the night, and I knew I had to come do some filming this morning, so I'm like, I need to get my sleep. And sometimes the more you try to fall asleep, the more you can't sleep. So even whether it be getting up to a different room, maybe if you're sleeping with someone who needs their sleep as well, I like to turn on an audiobook on my headphones or a podcast or just relaxing music and actually focusing on something different and thinking about something different that's calming and relaxing can really just kind of help us fall asleep. And there's been times in my life where it was harder to get to sleep during the beginning of the night as well. And I find just having something to fill your mind with that's positive and encouraging just kind of helps you fall asleep and go to bed. So highly recommend that piece as well. The other two areas we're going to focus on this brief session today is nutrition and exercise. I'm sure if you're like me, I like ice cream, I like chocolate, I like super unhealthy foods, I like going out for burgers and going doing some fast food, right? And I think that one of the biggest things to keep in mind for nutrition is everything in moderation. You know, it's good to have cheat days. It's good to kind of eat healthy, but it's also good to enjoy things as well. It's kind of funny. I'm a really big sports fan. I love hockey, I love basketball, I love football, soccer, all these different sports. And just like teams, they have like home and away jerseys and like home and away different practices and schedules that they follow. I have a home and away eating schedule. When I'm home, I do my best to eat healthy. I don't buy a lot of junk food or things that are going to make me feel really gross or just sick. I try to eat pretty healthy. I'll have a treat of yogurt, berries, and a little bit of chocolate, or maybe a cookie after dinner. Other than that, I try to keep it pretty healthy at home. But my away diet is eating whatever I want. So if I'm out, whether it be at a friend's house or on a trip or something, I'm just going to let myself eat whatever. And that particular schedule for myself and my nutrition has really helped me, where I can try to be my best to be healthy at home and have a lot of fun when I'm out as well. Healthy meals of having 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not the best breakfast person all the time. I know this morning I was cooking some stuff before I came and I thought I better eat breakfast so I can be most focused and prepared for today's recordings. And I think that's a really key thing. For some of us, we're busy. We don't always have time to eat regular meals. Sometimes I get busy and don't eat lunch as well. But it sure helps our energy levels and mood to eat food every few hours. And as much as possible, really focusing in on fruits and vegetables and those foods that would be healthier and less kind of having those carb crashes. If you've ever had a lot of coffee or donuts or other high carb foods, you find you feel great at first. You get the sugar rush or the high of caffeine too, but then you crash after, and that's never fun. So one of my favorite drinks when we're on vacation is going to Starbucks and getting like a double shot espresso, a frappuccino, and it feels great and that's a lot of fun at first, but after about 4 or 5 hours, I'm like just ready to fall asleep. So knowing the times that you can have some of those treats and picking those strategically too is helpful. The other piece is emotional eating. So just recognizing, hey, for some of us, if we're having a hard time, if we're feeling blah, if we had a hard day, we might turn to food or other things as well. And there's nothing wrong with eating food and enjoying some other things, but making sure we're doing it for the right reasons. So if we're having difficulties, we got to turn to people, we got to talk about things, process things, instead of turning to food. So that would be a key piece there. And as we do that, just having those healthy snacks around the house. If you're hungry, you need a snack. Or even if you're having a hard time, maybe you'll have some yogurt or some fruit or some vegetables or whatever you like as a healthy snack for yourself. So just really being mindful of your food intake, not having too much or too little. And of course, if you have medical complications, consulting with a nutritionist and physician just to make sure you're following recommended schedules for whatever you may need as well. The final area is water intake. Generally speaking, it's recommended based on every person's body weight, height, etc. They drink a little bit different amount of water, but according to the Mayo Clinic, 3.7 liters for males and 2.7 liters for females is generally around the average. So you might be thinking, that is a lot of water. It is true, that is a lot of water. So I know friends who've actually got a water bottle for their size of water, and they mark off spots by, okay, 9 a.m. I have to drink this much, 10, noon, 3 p.m., what have you. My wife does that. It seems to help her. I just try to drink water as much as I can, so have some every hour or what have you. So find what works for you, but being able to have water consistently throughout the day can really help in so many different ways with your physical health, but other elements of wellness as well. So it's an important key, super easy to do, but sometimes in the busyness of life, we forget those just really basic, simple things like eating regular meals and water and sleep that can help us. Those things are doable. I feel like most of us, if we put a little bit of effort and set some reminders, we can do those things. This next one, exercise, is pretty tough. Sometimes it's been the bane of my existence, and I know a lot of people too. They're like, yeah, I know exercise would help me, but it's just really hard to do. And I've told my clients for years as well, I'm good at telling people what to do. I'm not always the best at doing it myself. So with the exercise piece being a challenge, as I mentioned, it is really all about making it practical. So trying to pick a same time that you're going to do it every day. Of course, if you're doing weightlifting or very vigorous exercise, you don't want to be doing that every single day, but making sure you're talking to a personal trainer or getting advice on what is healthy and what's appropriate for exercise. But I like to make it daily for myself. I do 5 minutes of exercise a day. And for the past year, I'd put that into my schedule. Right after the kids go to bed, I'm doing 5 minutes of exercise a day, and it was awesome, and I was killing it. But this past year has been tough. The last 3 months, I've got off the train, I've got off the tracks, and I'm no longer exercising like I once did. So I think I need to find a different time and put that alarm in my phone. And my wife has actually been finding the same thing. So we recently purchased a fitness bike, which is on the way to us now. It's in transit. So I'm really looking forward to getting this bike, and I'm going to go on it every day and probably watch a show for 5 or 10 minutes as I'm cranking up kind of the tension in it and being able to pedal as hard as I can and really going at it for about 5 to 10 minutes. So that can be a key, but finding those exercise practices that work for you personally. Some people like to schedule in walks during their lunch break at work or after they come home, going for a walk as a family, bike riding. For me in the winter, it's cross-country skiing. Finding whatever exercise best fits into your schedule and lifestyle, and making a point to do that at least on every couple days. And for myself, I find consistency is key. So 5 minutes a day, it's probably not as much as I should be getting, but it's a nice place to start. So I'd recommend setting your alarm 5 minutes a day, get that exercise. And it's amazing, even after a few days, you feel different. And after, they say, generally speaking, it takes a few weeks to make a habit. So after about exercising for about 3 weeks last year, my body actually craved exercise, and I literally couldn't go to bed or couldn't finish my routine until I actually had exercised. At first, it's hard work, and you're kind of pushing against the grain, so to speak, but pretty soon it will be the default pathway, and you'll actually want to exercise. It's just a matter of sticking with it for the first few weeks until that becomes more automatic. So we've covered a lot of ground today: sleep, nutrition, exercise. 3 kind of challenging areas that we could do them, but they are tough in doing on a daily basis. So I hope you can have 1 or 2 takeaways from this session that you're really going to focus on. If you're finding inconsistencies with your sleeping schedule, I would start there. Just getting a good, consistent night's sleep at the same time every day is a game changer. Focus in on that. Exercise, I think for all of us, I feel like 5 minutes a day could be doable. That would be an important key as well. And I think I will be really focusing on that key, and the nutrition piece as well, whatever that might look like for you. Start small. Just pick 1 or 2 of these things that we've talked about today and focus on them for the next week. So put them on your phone right now. Check in with yourself every day to see how they're going. Text a friend, reach out to someone in your supporting cast, one of your anchors. Ask them to collaborate and maybe coach with you this week in this very practical area. Because I know myself, if I don't actually reach out to an anchor and talk to them about my physical health, nothing's going to change. I'm probably not going to do it. So pull out your phone now, text one of your supporting people in your life, and let's do it this week. You got it. It'll take a couple weeks to become automatic, but if you practice, let's say 1 or 2 of these habits for the next 2 to 3 weeks, it's going to help you make those small steps to move forward, improve your physical wellness, and in doing so, it's actually going to really give you a lot of capacity to improve other areas of your wellness as well. So you got this. Let's go for it this week.
Thank you for watching this video. We hope you liked it. Be sure, if you did like it, to hit that thumbs up on the bottom and to subscribe to this channel, as we will continue in the coming up weeks to release videos on this wellness series. The next area that's going to be released is mental wellness. And so Joel's going to be giving us tips in the next video in how to make a plan for wellness in that area of our lives. So you don't want to miss it.